Alright guys, it's another video. Welcome back. Today we are going to work on getting back into Godot. It's been a while, so let's get started. We're going to start by creating a new project. So click on New Project, and I'll just call this Getting Back into Godot. I don't know. You can maybe make it shorter or something. Let me save my stuff here. Dropbox, Godot, projects. Oh, it's going to be a new year. This one's going to be, I guess this can go here. That's fine. Back. Into Godot. Okay, so I just created a new folder and I'm making my game. So basically I just said getting back into Godot and I picked my folder here. So I'm going to hit create and edit. So create folder, browse, create and edit. Here we go. We've got a new project and let's get started. I'm going to do a little bit of refresher for you guys. And we're going to start adding some buttons and we're going to make our character move around. Just basically refresher kind of stuff. First thing I want to do is I want to make a new folder. I'm going to call this one Scenes. Then I'm going to make another folder and I'm going to call it Scripts. And let's start a new scene. I'll do a new 2D scene. So over here on the left hand side I clicked on 2D scene. And I am going to call this main. Alright, so I called it main scene. Let's go ahead and add a character to our scene. I'm going to hit main. I'm going to say +, sprite. And I'm just going to call this my main character. This is really just going to be a testing thing here because we're just kind of refreshing ourselves for how Godot works, kind of just getting back into things you might not remember. Alright, so I've got my sprite and this sprite needs a picture or a texture. So down here in the bottom left I'm going to hit icon. I'm going to drag and drop it over here into texture and there's my main character. Now usually I don't move these things off the starting point, but we might move it today. Okay, so up at the top we got unsaved and our scene's not saved. I'm going to hold control. I'm going to press S to save and I'm going to put this, since this is a scene that I'm saving, .tscn means scene, so I'm going to go to scenes and I'm going to save this here. So my main scene is now saved. Down in the bottom left in the file system you can look in the scenes folder and you can see your main scene right there. I'm going to drag my character off to the middle by using this move mode. W activates that. I typically click it myself. This box right here, that's the window that you see when you play your game. This is basically the person's screen, what they see when they're looking at your game. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit up here in the top right hand corner, play scene, F6. That shows your character right in the center of the screen. Okay, I want to make some buttons that manipulate my character on the screen, just to refresh how we can do these things. Over here on the right hand side it says transform X and Y. When you grab your character, if you move him to the right, your X will go up. If you move him to the left, the X will go down. If you move him up, Y will go down. That's something you need to pay attention to. And if you move him down towards the bottom of the screen, Y will go up. So I want to create 4 buttons that add to this X and the Y. So I'm going to go ahead and start up here. I'm going to come up here to the top. I'm going to click on main and I'm going to add a button. I'm going to just use this regular button here. And I'm going to call this the up button, I guess, or just up. Now when I'm clicked on it, I've renamed it. I'll go ahead and move this button. This is not how I usually like to do it, but I'm just going to put it over here at the bottom. And I'm going to call this move up. So on the right hand side in the inspector window you can change the text. You can align the text. So right here it's just right in the center. I'm scrolling my wheel to go in and out. Alright, so I want this button to move my character up. Alright, so right now this button is not connected to my main character at all. So let's see if we can connect it to him. So in order to connect it to him, you're going to need a script on your main character. So I'm going to click on my main character. I'm going to hit this scroll here. And I am creating a script for him. Now right now the path is going to save the script into the main character, into the scenes folder, which I don't want that, so I'm going to hit this folder. I'm going to go up one level, and I'm going to put this script into the scripts folder. The name main character is fine for me right now, so I'm going to hit open and create. Now I've got a script for my main character. You'll notice over here on the left hand side, main character is under scripts, and the scene that I'm in is in scenes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put a comment here for myself. This is my main character. And so there's my main character. And we need to connect to this movement up button. There's a new way to do that in Godot, and I would like to show y'all how to do that right now. So I'm going to say, first I'll say var move up button is equal to, and we'll say get node, and instead of typing anything right here, I'm going to show you a new way to get the path to your node. It's a pretty neat little way to do it. This is one of the updates that we got from 3.5. If you click on this main, or on this up button here, you can right click and you could say, oh, where is it? Oh, I don't see it. Oh, I might be in the old version of Godot. I am in the old version of Godot. Okay, so that's okay. I'll fix this real quick. I'm going to download it and I'll just get myself right back to this spot. But if this is a good reminder for you, make sure you're on the latest version of Godot. I'm going to pause this and I'll just blink to the being done here in 2 seconds. All right, back. Upgraded. 3.5. Perfect. Okay, so now if you right click on your up button, you'll notice that we have a new item here. It says access scene, access as scene unique name. Okay, I'm going to check that box. And then you should be able to access this button with its exact name. So right now it just says up, which is probably not the best name. So I'm going to do up button, I guess. Okay, so now its unique name is the up button, and you can see this little percent sign here. This says the node can be accessed from within anywhere in the scene by preceding it with the percent prefix in the node path. Click this to disable. Okay, we don't want to disable. All right, here we go. So instead of our node here, what we're going to do is we're going to do percent, and then we'll say up button. All right, so there is the path to our button, I think. Oh, on ready. Good thing we're doing this refresher course because I need it too. All right, so we say on ready var move up button, get node percent up button. Okay, now I'm going to make a function that just tells us when the button is actually pressed. So this is my main character script. I'm going to say function up button pressed. All right, and whenever it gets pressed, I just want it to say I pressed the up button. Okay. All right, we have our function here. It says something, but we didn't actually make the connection yet. There's two different ways to make that connection. I'm going to show you my favorite way, and then this is what I'm going to do. So what you do is you take the button, so this name, go to the ready function and put it there. So move up button dot connect. that basically just means I want to connect something from that button. And you want to know when the button was pressed. So right there. So when the button is pressed, we want to connect that to our self, and the function we want to use is the up button pressed. So I'll make some notes here in comment form. So this is what, this is a function, this is the signal, this is where, and this is to what. I guess so. Maybe that, I don't know if that makes any sense to you. So it says basically this is what we're talking about, which is the button. What are we doing? We're trying to connect it. This is a built-in Godot function called connect. So it's making a connection. What are we connecting? The signal that we're connecting. So the button can be pressed, it can be hovered over, and there's other things that it can have. So, but whenever it is pressed, where do we want to connect it to? Well, we want to connect it to ourself, which is the main character. So we're connecting it to ourself. And what do we want to, or what are we connecting it to in ourselves? Well, we're connecting it to this function. Okay, so I'm going to save what I just did. So Control S, and I'm going to press play on this scene. And when I click this button, our character says, I pressed the up button. So every time I click it, it says I pressed the up button. Perfect. Alright, so I pressed the up button. Now that's great and all to see that it typed that. It's not super useful. But to refresh ourselves, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. And if we wanted to move our character in the upwards direction, right, we could grab him and move him up, right? So what happens when he goes up? Well, the Y coordinate goes down. It goes down. See? As I'm going upwards, it gets lower and lower and lower until it gets into negative numbers. So what we want to do is we want to move our character upwards when we press that button. So how do we do that? I'm going to comment out this part right here. Well, we want to move our character. To move our character, we need to access this position here. And what do we want to? We want to access the Y position. So I'm going to say self dot, and to get to this position, if you hover over the top, it says position. So self is talking about ourselves, and we want to move our position. So I'm going to say self dot position. And then which position do we want to move? Well, we want to just move the Y coordinate. So I'm going to say dot Y. And in order to go upwards, we need to take our position, our Y position, and we need to subtract some type of number. I'm going to use, I'll just use 1 for now. It's not going to move very much when I click the button, but this says go to ourselves, go to our position on the Y coordinate. Let me write this as a comment. Go to ourself and adjust the position on the Y. And how are we adjusting it? We're just subtracting 1. Alright, so I'm going to play this, and now when I push this button, you'll see that every time I click it, my character moves up. Up, 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 up. Now if you wanted him to move up faster, you could do, like right here, you could do 10. And so instead of him moving up 1 pixel, he's going to move up 10 pixels. So he kind of like jumps upwards. Now we're not really what we're doing right here is we're just kind of refreshing our memory on how to do certain things. So with this, it gives us how to make a connection. So make a connection. So we've made a connection from the move up button to this from that button to ourselves. Okay, so that's good. All right, let's do one more just for good measure. I'm going to add another button. So I'll come over here. I'm going to do this one more time just for you guys. So what do? I click on main and I'm going to add another button. Let's add a button. I'll just add the regular button. I mean, you could do, I don't know, we could do a slider. I don't know. We'll just do a regular button. We'll do a slider or something later. Okay, so I've got a button. I'm going to call this the rotate right button. Okay. There's my rotate right button. I will say rotate right. All right, let's rinse and repeat what we just did. So I'll use this unique. Actually, you know what? I won't use it this time. I'm going to show you how to do it without using the unique name. So what you would do is basically the same. I'm going to copy this line right here. And I'll make a little change. So instead of the move up button, we're going to call this the rotate right. Rotate right button. And I'm going to actually get that path. So to get that path, it's on the same level as our character. So to get that path, you actually have to go up one level and then get it. So I have to say get parent dot get node, and the node that I want to get is the rotate right button. Alright, now I can repeat the same process I did before. So I'm going to go to the ready function. I need to connect something. I need to connect the pressed button. I want to connect it to myself, and I need a function to actually connect it to. I don't want to do the same up button. I'm going to do the rotate button. So rotate, I'm making my own function right here. Rotate right button. Okay, made this function myself. It's mine. I can name it whatever I feel like. I'm just naming it that just for simplicity. Alright, to make sure I get the same name under the what part of this, I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to copy and paste to make sure I don't misspell what I did down here. Alright, now this time I want to rotate my character to the right. How do I do that? I'm going to click on my character. I'll come over here to rotation degrees. If you hover over it, how do you rotate your character? Well, you need to access that underlined word right there, rotation degrees. So I'll say self dot rotation. You have rotation and rotation degrees. We're going to go ahead and use rotation degrees. Now I'm going to look back at this here. You'll see that if you go down, it rotates to the left, and if you go up, it rotates to the right. So we need to add to go to the right. I guess right and left isn't great. Clockwise and counterclockwise would be a better way to say that. So it rotates clockwise. Okay, we're gonna make it rotate clockwise. Maybe I could change it, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I'll say rotation degrees, and I'll add to it. So plus equals, let's do, I don't know, 5. Alright, so if this is working, when we press this new button, it should rotate our character to the right. So rotate, and he's rotating to the right. That's perfect. And he can move up. Great. Alright, so I would like you guys, I'm going to make an assignment that is for you guys to add more buttons. Let me see, how many buttons could you actually add? You could do up, down, left, right, so that's 4. You could do left and right on rotate, so that's 6. Scale on the X and scale on the Y, on the right, or on the Y. Low. Scale up and down, so that's 2, 4. So I guess you can get a, let's see, 4, 6, 10. You could get a total of 10 buttons out of this. For the extra bold among you, you could also do the colors. You could make buttons for colors, for changing your color. Let's do that. We'll do 10 buttons. You can do any 10 you want. It could be Z index. I don't know. That's not really going to help you here. You could do colors. Offset is not really useful. You could flip, but I don't think that would help that much. Okay, so 10. 10 buttons. Put 10 buttons on the screen. Make all 10 buttons work. That's what I'd like you to do. I want you to do all the 2 rotations, all the movements, and the scale. And if you're super cool, you can do the colors too and show off your skills. Alright, that's the end of this video. You guys have a great day.